Alma and welcome to my book journey. I am here today because Taylor from Tales and Treats with Tay tagged me in the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tag video. And so I was gonna just answer those questions with you today and go down through the list. I had fun putting this together and answering all the questions for you. So this will be a quick tag video for you today. So the first one is for the number 5. We have five recent 5-star reads, kind of tongue twister there. So we're supposed to give you 5 recent 5-star reads, and so I have picked 5 that I went through my book journal, and I went through and I said, okay, what recently have I done 5 stars to? Now, I have in the past given 5 stars, like, you know, as soon as I shut my book, I'm like, oh, it's a 5-star read. So I need to start taming that down, because after a while, every book is 5 stars. So, but I will tell you, the book I just finished reading was definitely a 5-star read. So this is the first one, and it's Heart of Red, Blood of Blue. And I just finished this yesterday, so it's, like I said, it's still fresh in my mind. So definitely a 5-star read. And this was kind of like a medieval fantasy book, and I will talk more about that in my month-end review. But there's one. And then another 5-star read, recent 5-star read I had, is another book that I read last month. Yes, last month, or yeah, last month. And that was a World War II book called All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. And this one was really a touching book. It was really hard-hitting, dealing with the 2 people that were living through World War II from opposite sides of the war, and it was pretty hard to read in a lot of the areas, especially towards the end. But I did rate that one a 5-star read. And then on a lighter note, a recent 5-star read was a romance, kind of a Western fairy tale retelling of Cinderella, If the Boot Fits, by Karen Whitmire. And I did do a full review video, and I'll link that below, of what I thought about this one. So I really love this one. And then another 5-star read for me this year was Ariadne and the Legend of the Fire Rose. And this one was really sweet. It was a fantasy book about a young woman who is finding out who she really is in this world. And she's like a warrior, and she has a secret past in her life that you find out during this book. And this is the first book in a series, but this one just came out, and this one is by Christy A. Cole, and really loved it. So that was another recent 5-star read. And then the last one, I don't have it with me because it was I checked that out at the library, The Frozen River. And I loved that book. It was a historical fiction about a midwife living in the 1700s. And it involved a murder mystery, and then also her relationship with her husband and then her children, and just her living that life during that time period in the colonial period. And it was really a fascinating read. I really loved that book. I read that in January, and I still think about that. So that was definitely a 5-star read. Okay, moving on to the number 4, and this one it says auto by author. So I'm assuming that means, like, as soon as this author writes a book, you automatically go and buy them. So I have discovered an author by the name of Gabrielle Meyer, and many of you all know her. And the first book I read of hers was When the Day Comes. I don't have that one, actually. I checked that out through Libby last year, and I need to buy that one to complete my set, because after I read that one, I had to read the second book, which is In This Moment in Time, or In This Moment, and it's part of her Timeless series. And then the third book just came out, and I do have that one, and I'm reading that I'm gonna start reading that next week. I'm so excited. So there's that. So Gabrielle Meyer, like when I'm already gonna pre-order the next one, because the next one comes out in November. So has become a you know, one that I want to buy all her books once. And she has a lot of backlists. I watched a live with her and on Facebook, on her Facebook channel, and she says she's like written over 50 books. I think that's what she said. So she has written a lot of books for like the Inspired, Love Inspired series. So I'm gonna have to find all her books and read all her backlist. So number two, another author that I love to buy books from is Amy Harmon, and she is a historical fiction writer. And the first book I read of hers was this book called What the Wind Knows, and it is a historical fiction based in Ireland, but also we have a little bit of fantasy in here because there's some time travel going on, and that's what caught my eye about that one. Actually, I heard about it because it was historical fiction and time travel, so I wanted it, but also I was doing like the buzzword challenge that year, and one of the challenges was one of the words in your title should have something that has to do with like weather, and so this one had wind in it, so that's why I picked it. I'm so glad I did because I loved it. So that was the first one I read of hers, and then I started looking into her other books, and this book kept coming up as another good one to read of hers, so I got it, and it's called Where the Lost Wander, and this is a book that deals with people going through the Oregon Trail, and this one was really good. Has a romantic story in here, as well as the hardships that people went through at that time. So that was the second book I read of hers. And then after that I think I read this one next, yeah. And this was a new book of hers that had just come out, and so I picked it up, and it was called A Girl Called Samson, and oh, I love this one. This one is about a woman that was living in the time of the American Revolution. And she, because of certain circumstances, she disguises herself as a man, and she serves in the military of the American Revolution. This story was fascinating, it really was. And the author's note was amazing. When I got to the end, I'm like, what? So you need to read those author's notes, they're really interesting. And so that was the third book of hers. Loved it. All these books of Amy Harmon's, I always gave them, by the way, I gave them all 5 stars. And then the last Amy Harmon book I picked up, and this was going on, was starting to do her backlist because A Girl Called Samson was her recent one, and somebody recommended From Sand and Ash, and this is a World War II story about a young Jewish Italian woman in Italy going through the war, and this one was heartbreaking. I think I read this one in January, and my January review video, I really get into why I love this book. So those are the reasons why I will buy anything Amy Harmon writes, or try to find them. And like I said, I'm going through her backlist now. Okay, I got so carried away with Amy Harmon that I forgot the 2 other authors that I'm supposed to talk about for number 4. It was 4, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was 4, and talk about 4 authors, and I only did Gabrielle Meyer and Amy Harmon. Okay, the second one, the third one was Becky Kenser. I read her first book, Dear Henry, Love Edith, and loved it. I bought the second one, Love in Tandem, loved that one. And then the 4th author I will put in, and it's kind of sad because I don't have any of their books, because I've only read, I think this person only has 3 actual books out, but I've read 2 of them, and that is Andy Weir. I read Project Hail Mary, and then I also read The Martian. But I checked those books out. I didn't buy them because I didn't know if I'd like them, because I didn't know if I would like reading sci-fi. but I adored both of those books. And so I'm waiting for him to write another book. I don't know if he has one coming out, but I do want to read whatever he has coming next. And I know he has another book called Artemis, but I have heard from people that like the other books that it's not the, you know, of the three that he has, that's like number 3 for most people. But there we go. Sorry, I totally forgot those things. So make sure I put this section in before I get to 3. Editing. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so the number 3 is your 3 favorite genres. And so my 3 favorite genres are, you can probably guess, historical fiction is one of them. I love reading all kinds of historical fiction in different time periods, you know, especially World War II. I kind of seem like I gravitate to those. But historical fiction, and then I love Christian fiction. And even though Christian fiction can have like historical, fantasy, sci-fi, you know, it counts as everything. I just count Christian fiction as one big genre too. And then my 3rd favorite, I'm starting to see that I like some fantasy in my books. I've really liked some really good fantasy books. Number 2, it says, what 2 places are your favorite places to read? And so one of them, a favorite place that I find myself reading is laying down on my bed at night. I like to read a book on my my iPad. I either check them out on Libby, or I've gotten them free sometimes, and I put them on the Kindle app and read them that way. And that way, because a lot of times I get up in the middle of the night and I can't go to sleep, so I, you know, get out my phone or something and I start reading. And a lot of times it's a book that I have. Sometimes it's a book that I'm reading hard copy too, so I have extra time to read it at night. But that's a lot of times I'll read in bed. But probably my favorite place to read is in my husband's office. I'll sit in there in the recliner, and he'll be at his desk because 2 days out of the week he works from home, and so I like to read to him. And that Heart of Red, Blood of Blue, I just finished. We read that together, and we both love that. So I love reading in the office with him. And then, so the last one is a book you promised to read soon. And so I'm gonna put, even though I guess I should do just one book, but this one it's to read soon, like pick it up again, because I haven't finished it. And so this one is the Gulag Archipelago. My husband told me, you need to put that one on there because you need to finish it. So this one, I promised to finish. You know, I'll add that in. I promise to finish this one because I need to. It's a chunky, and the words are so small, and it's a nonfiction book about the Gulag, which is the prison system that was utilized in Russia over many, many decades. And it's really kind of a bleak book, really sad. But anyway, I need to finish this one. But then a book I'm going to start soon is one of Amy Harmon's books, her latest book, and it's called The Outlaw Noble Salt. And I'm excited to read that. I will probably pick this up the last week of May. I have a few other books that I need to read before this one, but I'm going to pick this one. I am going to try to finish this in May because I'm excited to read another one of her books. Okay, so that was all the numbers, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so I'm going to tag 2 people for this. I'm going to tag the Lucy Chronicles. I'm going to tag her, and I'd love to hear what her favorites are. And then I'm also going to tag Miriam Elizabeth Reads. Now, I looked at her on her channel, and she has done this tag, but she did it a year ago. So I'm curious. I'm curious to see if anything's changed, Miriam, if you have different answers. So I'll go ahead and tag you, and if you feel like doing this tag over again. Like I said, it's been a year, so maybe things have changed. Okay, so that's it. It's going to be a short video for today. I hope everybody had a blessed weekend, and come back again. I know we're getting close to getting our TBRs ready for June. This month is flying by. So just want to say thank you for joining me. Come back again, and you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.